Hello and welcome back to KPVM's Young at Heart. I'm Shane Corson, co-host today. Today, as is my second interview, I have another very special individual, Michael Brown. Michael has written a book called Finding Ned, No Evidence of Disease. It's actually a book written through Michael's eyes, and it's about his late wife, who unfortunately lost her life to melanoma cancer. Michael, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me, Shane. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Over this past weekend, I was able to read some of the book, and I can tell that I would definitely be able to, would like to read the whole thing from start to finish. It's very well written, and it's also probably something that's going to be a bit of a tearjerker. There's a lot of emotion involved with it. And of course, the better written the book, the more engrossed and involved you become with it.
Sure.
But I'm not going to talk about all of that. Instead, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
First of all, a couple of terms: grace under pressure, true grit, courageous, strong, beautiful. Love is mentioned so many times through this book. These are your words about your late wife, and your wife being Amanda. Mm-hmm. Her name is Amanda. I can tell that there was a lot of love there. Still is, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And probably that is part of the reason what brought you about to writing this book. Tell us a little bit about
it. Going through the journey of fighting melanoma cancer was something that I wish upon no one. It's a horrific disease. But going through this journey with Amanda, she was unbelievable and wanted to document, and so we did. And she wrote everything down in her journal, and was excited about the thought of maybe having a book, and
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately she passed away before she could finish the book, and I finished it for her.
Mm-hmm.
And actually got it published, and it just released on May 8th from Tate Publishing, and
very nice.
Very
Congratulations.
Very excited about it.
Yes, absolutely.
I shared everything though.
Yeah, I see there are a lot of excerpts in there straight from Amanda's words.
Right, yeah. I wanted it to be that way because it was actually from her, and in fact the title, Finding Ned, No Evidence of Disease, is what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I did everything in my power to make sure that she got what she wanted.
Yep.
And I'm excited for her now because, and for me, not only for her, I know it's for me too. I'm so happy that I get the chance to share this woman, with everyone.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, a lot of times when we take on writing projects, we do them not necessarily for the project itself, but for our own self.
Right. It's my medicine. It's a promise kept. I told her I would do this, and
so she lives on very gracefully through this.
I want everyone to know what an unbelievably beautiful, strong, courageous woman she was.
Yeah. The stories that you convey in here, and plus there are pictures in here, I can tell. Very strong lady.
Yeah, and again, I shared everything, good and bad.
Right.
And I want people to know what melanoma can do to a human body and human being, and not only that person, the patient, but the loved ones. The suffering that they go through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So in that same vein, now you want people to know you are not just sitting here with the book saying, here's my book, read it.
No,
you are actively involved.
Is what happened when Amanda passed away. I didn't run to the mountains, and hide away.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to. I had that feeling.
Yeah.
But I was in still fight mode, and it wasn't like a light switch. I couldn't just turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went online and I found the Melanoma Education Foundation,
mm-hmm.
and they're based out of Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that they didn't really have much west of the Mississippi in regards to their program, and their program basically is basically teaching high school, middle school kids about skin cancer, melanoma, and I was like, boy, that's a light bulb over my head. You know, that's the front lines of this whole thing. Educating, saving lives through education.
Right, and in the very, very front of your book, you say that you mentioned that this melanoma can be diagnosed early. If it's diagnosed early on,
sure.
there's a chance for much better quality of life.
When I tell these kids too, I let them all know, and anyone who's interested in knowing, I let them know that melanoma is one of the easiest cancers to beat if you catch it early enough. Mm-hmm. If you don't, and it gets to stage 4, it's one of the deadliest cancers of all. Mm-hmm. And there's no middle ground here with melanoma.
Okay, for people who don't know the timeline on this type of disease, there's and even some of the terminology, stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stage 4 being the final stage.
Right.
What type of timeline does somebody have if they suspect?
Well, it goes like this. If it goes to stage 4 and it's melanoma, that means it's already in the bloodstream. It's already has little satellites, if you will, breaking off, because melanoma is almost like an iceberg. What you see on the top of the skin is nothing compared to how big it is underneath. Yeah. And it breaks off little breadcrumbs of cancer, if you will, once it gets into the bloodstream. That's when it becomes stage 4. You have a 1 in 10 chance of living past 5 years.
Wow. So the mortality rate's pretty great. And it's very
One person dies every hour in the U.S. from melanoma. They were more than likely in their 20s, and almost every single death could have been prevented.
Wow. You were telling me earlier that you go out and you do the seminars. Right.
I teach high school, middle school kids I'm the executive director for the Melanoma Education Foundation of Nevada, and that is part of my my medicine. You know, I don't take pills or talk to counselors or any of that. You know, I teach these kids, and once they leave the class, knowing that they know what to do. If they should, get melanoma or any other skin cancer for that fact, they're going to know what to do, and that's what heals my heart.
What, in a nutshell, what are they to do? What is somebody to do?
If they have any changes of their mole, like moles on their skin, if it's changing colors, growing, any pain association, itching, anything like that, those are signs that you need to go to a dermatologist and get it checked out. Because those are the beginning signs of sometimes of a melanoma and or basal or squamous cell.
And is this something like, if I see a tiny little brown spot, should I just rush off to the doctor, or
what you should do is, if you're really concerned about something but you don't know and it's kind of new, take a picture of it, digital camera, and revisit it 2 weeks later. And if it's changed at that point and it's different colors or changing or evolving, anything like that, then go to the dermatologist, get it checked. Peace of mind is everything.
Yes, it absolutely is. You have a book signing coming up.
I do. It's at the Pahrump Valley Library this Saturday from 10:30 to 1 o'clock. And it's my first one, and I'm so excited because the book just got released May 8th, and basically, I want Pahrump to have first shot at it, in a sense, because it all happened here, right on Dandelion Street. Yeah, everything happened here, and it's all in the book, and I want to share it with Pahrump, and I want to share who Amanda Faye Brown was.
All right, Saturday morning at what time?
10:30 to 1 o'clock.
To 1 o'clock
at the Pahrump Valley Library.
Okay, beyond the book, Michael, you may not know his face.
Oh.
You may not know a lot about it, but Michael is not just an author, he's also a very accomplished musician and also a slightly amateur race car driver.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the music.
Okay.
Tell us about, he's played with some very interesting people.
Yeah, I play for Sean Na. I'm their sax player, I've been with them for 10 years. I've had the pleasure to travel the country. Just played with the Beach Boys not long ago with them, and
nice.
Different acts. So it's wonderful to entertain and to be in an atmosphere that I can make people happy with what I do. Right. The guys are crazy as ever, and it's just fun.
Excellent. Michael, thank you so much for being here today.
I appreciate you having me, Shane. Thank you so very much.
I will see you on Saturday.
Oh, I hope to see you soon. I hope everyone else comes too.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us.